Corlin. Welcome back, Minister. But I want to raise with you the critical situation that's currently being faced by very many private and voluntary nursing homes across the country. They provide care for over 25,000 people in over 400 locations, and they provide 80% of all nursing home care. Yet, 31 private and voluntary nursing homes have closed over the last 3 years with a loss of 915 beds. But the crucial issue, Minister, is that these closures have been primarily located in regional and rural areas. And furthermore, Minister, the trend is worsening because 19 of those 31 closures occurred in the last 12 months. And what the figures don't tell us is that many, many more small to medium-sized nursing homes, many in my own constituency, are hanging on by a thread. And we know why this is happening. Report after report from HICWA and others, including the latest one in February from PwC, shows that private and voluntary nursing homes receive approximately €600 less per resident per week than their HSE counterparts. Now that's worth repeating, €600 less per resident per week. If you had a 40-bed facility, Minister, that would be about €1.25 million less than a similar HSE facility under Fair Deal. Minister, that's unsustainable, and that's why they're closing. Private and voluntary nursing homes operate under exactly the same criteria and the same regulations as HSE facilities, and rightly so. They provide a level of care that's identical. So I'm asking, will government provide an immediate stabilisation fund of €190 million in the next budget to help ensure their short-term viability and help prevent further closures? And Minister, I'm also asking that the Fair Deal rates, that they would be reviewed and reset to reflect the real cost of elderly care. Many nursing home owners in my own constituency have told me they are under severe financial pressure. I can't name them because immediately that would cause huge upset and concern for families, for residents and staff. And I can't. But what I don't want to see is that their names are added to the ever-growing list of closures. So, Minister, will your government stop dragging its heels and deliver some level of equity and fairness in this sector, both for the residents and for the staff who work there?
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Deputy, and thank you for raising this issue. It's an important issue. I've also had a nursing home in my own constituency under an awful lot of pressure, and it puts huge strain on families as well when they don't know what the future holds in terms of whether the nursing home is going to stay open. The government is conscious of the financial challenges faced by the nursing home sector, especially smaller and voluntary nursing homes. They may not have access to the same economies of scale as larger homes or indeed groups. The government has provided, as you know, substantial support to the private and voluntary nursing home sector over the pandemic period. Over €151 million of financial supports has been provided to private and voluntary nursing homes through COVID-19 temporary assistance payments. The provision of free PPE and oxygen to private nursing home continues, costing approximately €77 million to date. A new €10 million scheme was established last year to support private and voluntary nursing homes with increased energy costs, covering 75% of year-on-year cost increases, up to a monthly cap of €5,250 per nursing home. This scheme was extended for a second time to the end of June 2023, with a further short-term extension under review. Minister Butler has regular interaction with the National Treatment Purchase Fund and met with them to discuss ways to support the sector where necessary and appropriate to complement the normal process of negotiating rate increases when contracts are renewed. Anyone who has had a scheduled renegotiation of their deed of agreement this year with the NTPF has seen a significant uplift, an average baseline increase in price per bed of between 6% and 7% from what you're saying that's not enough for some nursing homes, but I think it's important to put it on the record. Other options to support nursing homes are also being explored, such as to help with the often costly nature of compliance for nursing homes under necessary health information and quality authority regulations. Ensuring that the welfare and safety of residents is secured when nursing homes close is, of course, of the utmost importance, and work to alleviate the concerns of residents must continue. 14 private nursing homes closed last year. 9 private nursing homes have closed so far this year. A further 2 private nursing homes which are currently active have notified closure for this year. 4 new centres opened last year, and 4 new centres have already opened in 2023. As of the most recent HICWA report up to the end of June, overall 2002 saw a net addition of 112 registered beds in total national capacity of private beds, while this year we've seen an increase so far of about 222 to date. This is due to the relatively larger size of the new nursing homes compared to the closure of the ones that have less capacity. Deputy, I recognise the point you're making. For many smaller nursing homes in more rural parts of Ireland, they don't have the economies of scale and cost base that some of the larger ones and larger groups have. And the concern that you're outlining is that needs to be reflected in terms of the support that government gives them. I take on board what you're saying, and I'll certainly raise it with the line minister. But there are different rates applying depending on different circumstances. But what you're suggesting is that the deviation isn't wide enough.
Deputy Harkin.
And you did talk about substantial support, but you said it yourself. That was pandemic support. That was for COVID only. It didn't deal with the systematic inequity in the fair deal system. You talked about 6% increase. Yet the difference in support between the two types is of the order of 60%, so it's not enough. I couldn't name a nursing home in my own constituency, but I can name St Brendan's Nursing Home in Mulranny. Their situation is dire, and it's now in the public domain. I spoke to my colleague, Dr. Jerry Cowley, who, along with the people from the local community, set up St Brendan's 25 years ago as a not-for-profit nursing home. They are struggling. They've spent hundreds of thousands bringing the nursing home up to a proper fire regulations, room size, and rightly so. But they receive €600 less per resident than the HSE facility 9 miles down the road. They provide the same level of care, they source staff from abroad, and 2 years later, the HSE take on their staff because they offer them better pay and conditions. They are in impossible situations. I want to know, what are you going to do for nursing homes like Mulranny? Yes, 4 new centres have opened, but they won't open in Mulranny, and they won't open in smaller regional and rural areas, and that's the crucial issue.
Please. Yeah, Minister, to conclude.
Deputy, as you know, private and most voluntary nursing homes agree the price that they can charge for a fair deal resident with the designated state agency, which is the National Treatment Purchase Fund. So this isn't a political negotiation. It's done by a state agency that's there to do that. Maximum prices for individual nursing homes are agreed with the NTPF following negotiations and based on the NTPF's cost criteria, such as costs reasonably incurred by the nursing home, the local market prices, historic prices that have been paid, and the overall budgetary capacity. A significant change that the NTPF has recently made to their negotiation process is for nursing home providers to agree a shorter contract duration of 12 months. This aims to ensure that NTPF rates increases stay aligned with any cost pressures increase that incur over the course of the contract period. In other words, I think there's a recognition in the system now that we've had a lot of disruption in terms of costs and a lot of increases that have happened at short notice, which has impacted disproportionately on a lot of smaller nursing homes. And the NTPF negotiation process is now trying to respond to that appropriately.
Thank you very much, Minister, and that concludes